Looks like everything is working. Hello, hello. How's it going this morning? Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at my code coverage right now. I think I'm at 40%. Wait. Oh, just get rid of these stupid. There we go. Yeah, that's gonna throw things off. Let's try that again. All right, let's take a look. 40%. So I want to get up to 60. Let me look at one piece. Also, I want to follow up from last week. So I did end up having to use associated type for the device registration. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. So here we have our device registration, which takes in a container factory, and then if we load up our container factory type, I had to set up a associated type for my protocol. So the way that it is implemented is using CloudKit. So let's pull that up. So the CloudKit implementation is here. And then throughout it, I am passing in specific types because that was just the easiest way. It came down to the CloudKit record. I didn't want to have to be strongly linked with that. So in the mocks, if we go down here, here we go, mock container. So I can create my own mock record and then pass that through. So that's really how I ended up having to do an associated type in my protocol. Because I don't care about what the record looks like, but I do care about the fact that it is a record. And I think, let's take a look at the record. What is the prerequisite for a record? Container record. Yeah, I just need the ID really, and then the metadata. I don't really use that in the device part of the code. That's mostly used on the web front end. So that's follow up to that. If you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. So that's that part. But today I want to look at, there's this, I have a command line tool that kind of mimics how the watch app works. And I want to be able to, there's a section here. So the way I run the web app, so one of the challenges with running a watch app is that it needs a URL to connect to. Like I can't use localhost. So I end up having to use, I use what's called ngrok, which allows you to create like a tunnel to your local host through their own made up URL, which you can then use in the Watch app. So there's some stuff I'm doing here in the let's look at the refactor. Okay, so there's some stuff I'm doing here to automatically detect when you run ngrok. It sets up a local API that you can check where what the name of the server that they set up for you is. And then that's what I'm using in my command line tool to emit workouts. I'm too afraid to run it right now to show you, but otherwise I would. But essentially, like the command line app, all it does is it just creates like random heart rates and sends it to the web app. When I'm running the web app locally. So, whereas right now, if you look at the stream, we have an actual real heart rate that I'm using from my watch. So what I'm going to do is refactor this. I think I want to take a look at some of the stuff I have set up here with requests. So let's see if we can pull that up. For request generators, stuff like this here would be really useful. And actually, let's see, we got session. Yeah, here we go. This stuff here, I've kind of what we did with the CloudKit stuff, I had already done with networking. So I am now, I want to use a lot of the same stuff here where I've removed the specific networking functionality of URL session and URL request and abstract that away so I can easily unit test the stuff. So that is what's going on here. So let's take a look. Go back to, well, it's easier just to go here and look at refactor. Okay. So broadcast type, this is where I can set up what I want here is I want this big chunk of code shrunk so that way it's easier for me to test it into separate components. So it looks to me like what we need is something that essentially, what I really need is the part, let's take a look. Remove the networking part. So that we use session, and then, sorry, need my morning coffee. And then we have ngrok error. I need the tunnel response. It looks like, I think that'll be enough. And then what I do here is I make sure to get the HTTPS part of the, whichever one is the HTTPS one, that's the one I use. And then, yeah, we just request generator base URL. Yep, good. So we're already using that. And then, yeah, because we have to set up the HTTP workout repository for sending in, where to send in the actual heart rate on the command line app. What I'd like to do actually is go even further and just get the base URL. Like, we need something that gets the base URL. We don't care how it does it. We just want it to get the base URL. And then we could go further from there. So let's okay, let's create a protocol. Public am I using ngrok? How am I spelling it? Okay, lowercase g. So ngrok base URL. Hey, if anybody wants to shout out a better name, let me know. Base URL fetcher, sure. Okay, and then that will have a callback. What does this take? This doesn't take anything. I mean, it could take the URL, I guess, but that would just go in the constructor, in my opinion. Otherwise, like, we pretty much just, yeah, we just need to get it. So fetch completion. Good old. If I misspell completion, please let me know. Escaping. Result. URL. Error. Void. Probably going to complain that I need to put parentheses around this. There we go. Okay. Oh. Func, of course. Why did I not think of that? Okay. All right. So let's do our implementation then. Public struct. And you know what? Sorry. I hate to do this, but protocol. And grok base URL fetcher protocol okay, fetch. Great. All right, so then let's get all this crap out of here. Right up to here. There we go. Oops. Copy. And then that goes here. Here we go. Yep. Then we have the result, which we then call flat map. So what is this? Public URL, is that a string or a URL? Let's just make sure. Okay, good. So what is result type? Okay, good, perfect. So completion then result. Great. Okay. I want to move that out to the property. I want to move this out to a property, but we'll get to that soon enough. So now we just do. Okay, then just we'll just instantiate it now. But what do we call it? Fetcher, right? And grok fetcher. Just to keep things ready for when we remove that part. And then we can then do this part here. Result. We'll just say URL result. And then we do let result equal URL result. Do all that stuff. Completion. Result. And then this here, I did not do resume, so we need to do that. There's that. This doesn't need to be here. Actually, this doesn't need to be here. Cool. All right. So we've reduced that part. And then we need to go ahead and, like I said, I want to put this. Let's look at this. That goes here. API URL equals this. API URL. That goes there. Self, right? Yep. So that part, we've got that part set up. I want to unit test this part here. So let's break that section out. So what that'll take is that we'll take the ngrok tunnel response, and then that will, yeah, we need to take ngrok tunnel response and parse that out. Primary URL parser protocol. And then that will be function. And I'm just going to have this return like optional. We'll do that. And then we'll take it because I don't want it necessarily to throw an error if it can't find it. And then in the fetcher, I will then have it throw an actual error. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll just say primary URL. Actually, yeah, primary URL from response ngrok tunnel response URL. Perfect. You need that. Parser. This public struct and copy that over. Primary URL. Should I call it primary URL or just URL? I'll just use primary URL for now. No, you know what? No. URL parser. Let's keep it simple. URL. 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 Sorry. Just keep it simple. So then that will do this part here, but I don't necessarily want, I don't really want the parts that take into effect that it's a actually I could probably just do this. That's probably what it looks like to me. So return. Now that's like super good. That's gonna be really easy to test, so that'll be fantastic. So yep, and then we'll just say and grok. Perfect. And then this part here, this actually, what we'll do then is just do return self.parser.url response. Perfect. Actually, oh, no. Leave it the way it is, Leo. Okay, so, and just to show you, this is a result extension that I have here. Pull that up. Because, I don't know about you, but there's limitations to how extension, or result works. So let's pull that up. So the way this works is it takes in two optionals and then it has a fallback error. So if this is just my shorthand of if the, obviously this is going to be nil and this could be nil. So it'll return not found, essentially the not found error, if it doesn't find a URL. So that's what we're doing here. Cool. Okay. So now let's set up a test for parser. Yes, let's do that. So copy this, and then we're gonna go here. It's awkward that like does fetcher like should I have it pass in a fetcher? Like it only needs the fetcher in certain cases. No, what I should do is make ngrok a yeah, like a argument value, so it has the fetcher passed in. Yeah, that's what I should do. Okay, we'll get to that. So let's add the unit test.